The streets has been buzzing for some time now about the Brooklyn-based web series Money and Violence. OIA caught up with the show creator, director, and writer Mo, who plays the character Rafe, to find out his Only in America story and give us a glimpse into not only the streets of New York, but also the streets of the world.
Who is Mo, aka Rafe? Just a regular guy at the end of the day, just someone who was striving for better. That was the whole thing with this whole Money and Violence project. It wasn't just to strive for better for myself, but it was to put a project out there that I felt that could help to educate our people. And not only the storyline itself, but just the backstory. Me not having any experience, no background in film, nor editing, nor writing whatsoever, and just deciding to get up one day and just make this happen. And just to be as an example as to what is possible. Just that anything that you set your mind to, as long as you put hard work and effort towards it, you allow God to do the rest. And if it's in the stars for that to be your destiny, then it'll happen. What inspired me is the state of, I'll start off by saying, this younger generation, then I'll say the streets, and I'll even broaden it to say the state of the world at the moment in time. We've come to a point where we lack humanity. And when I say we lack humanity, I mean the basic principles that made us humankind, we're starting to lose. The basic principles of what made men men. I have a tendency to say as chivalry dies, the truest essence of men die along with it. Men are rooted in sacrifice and not selfishness. Men have become so selfish. It's hard to draw the line now between what is fake and what is real. The bar has been set so low as to what we need to aspire to be. So I wanted to put a project out there that just kind of reacquainted people with certain basic principles. Aside from that, as well, society labels people from our urban communities as the quote-unquote bad guy. When you watch most films, urban dramas, things like that, the characters are so one-sided. It's like these dudes are running around doing robberies, they're running around doing crimes, and they're proud of it, they're happy about it, when that's not the truth. We're victims of circumstance. We're placed in these areas with limited amounts of resources, and due to that, because we love our loved ones, we provide for them by any means necessary. Growing up, I've had dudes in my life who, were Brooklyn's most wanted, were on FBI's top 10 most wanted list, but the truth is, they were the most warmest hearted people to those who were within their circle. And I just wanted to show the world that we're not necessarily the bad guy, because I've done a lot of bad in my life, but at the same time, I go home and hug and kiss my kids just like everybody. So I wanted to show the world that different side of us, that we're not animals. And the truth is, for us to survive in this jungle that we've been placed in, for us to thrive in an environment where we were set up to fail, we have to be intelligent. So I'm tired of people painting this picture of us like we're dumb, ignorant animals, because we're not. And I wanted to put a project together that showed that to the world. What's my Only in America story? I guess I could say that my Only in America story is that I wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't supposed to happen for someone like me. Not at all, And I try my best to steer away from even speaking about these things, because this whole gangster lifestyle has been so glorified and so glamorized by people who speak on it for the sake of making themselves look quote unquote tough, or, you know, because that's just part of their image. But truth be told, I'm not too sure if the people that are watching are familiar, but I'm from Argyle, between Church and Caton and Flatbush, Brooklyn, which in the 80s was like one of the worst blocks ever. Like, I think back to my youth, and it's funny because as I matured into someone older, I realized that the way that I grew up was not normal. You know, my role models, the dudes that I looked up to, the dudes that raised me, were all drug dealers, killers, and murderers. And I mean this to the worst that you can think of. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not far-fetched to say that I'd come home from school and step over bodies. You understand where I'm coming from? And I think that explains why the earlier part of my life, why I can't even say the path that I chose, because the path was kind of already chosen for me. You know, by the way that I was raised, I was kind of groomed. I was kind of groomed for the streets. And a friend of mine, you know, because I'll be the first to say Money and Violence is not a true story, but it's based on reality. And it's based on my reality, because for a long time that was my reality. And a friend of mine, I think he summed it up the best when he said, it's just so crazy that your pleasure came from a story about your pain. And I just want people to understand how authentic, you know, like you sitting here and you speaking to me, and you may come to realize that there's really no difference between me and this Rafe character. Like, it's the exact same person. And I don't think people get it when I say Mo doesn't play Rafe, Rafe plays Mo. You know, and I just want people to understand how authentic this story is, because when I had the opportunity, in a world where dudes want to be Big Meech, Larry Hoover, Tony Montana, OG Killer Bobby Johnson, when I had the opportunity to be anybody in this world, I chose to be myself. You know, and that's only because only in America. That's the only way I could put it. Only in America. I mean, there's a lot to come. I just started a new production company, Intellectual Property Productions, IP for short, with my three partners, Chris Styles, Teddy Altafar, and Charles Suit. We have a couple of new shows in development, a couple of things I can't even speak about, but that are definitely on the cusp of happening. A couple of big things. Also as well, you know, we do have the deal with Tidal as well as the deal with Lionsgate. The deal with Lionsgate is to secure that by season 3 we'll be the premium cable network on Netflix. So you may catch us on HBO, Showtime, Starz, Cinemax, Netflix, or Hulu, Amazon, something like that. Aside from that, I have 2 novels that will be published sometime in the future. I don't know if it's going to be the near future, because everything I do is strategic and timing is very important. So at the moment in time, Money and Violence is what's working, so I'm just focusing on that until it grows steady legs, until it gets to a network or something, and then I have more free time on my hands, then I can branch out. But yeah, I can guarantee you that Money and Violence is not the end, it's just the beginning.